Next news. Breaking news.
Folks, the Next News viewer tipped us off to something that should absolutely terrify every freedom-loving American. Right now, as you're watching this video, there are over 90,000 AI-powered surveillance cameras deployed across this country, tracking your license plate, photographing your face, and cataloging every bumper sticker on your vehicle. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. A YouTuber just discovered that dozens of these cameras are streaming live to the open internet with zero security. No password, no encryption, nothing. Anyone in the world can watch you drive by in real time, and that's only the beginning of the nightmare. Now think about what this means for you and your family. Every time you drive to church, pick up your kids from school, visit a gun store, or attend a political rally, these flock cameras are snapping 6 to 12 photos of your vehicle, capturing who's driving and uploading it all into a massive shared database. And who has access? Federal agencies, including ICE, U.S. Marshals, and who knows who else. Now, cities in California just discovered that out-of-state agencies were illegally accessing their camera data without local police even knowing it. No, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is actually happening in your neighborhood. And right now in Arizona, these cameras were installed across the state without your knowledge or consent, in direct violation of the state constitution. Washington state alone has cities spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on these systems. And the most chilling part? Some security experts found these cameras completely exposed online, no login required, footage stored for a month. Your movements, your patterns, your life, all just sitting there for anyone to see. And speaking of being watched without your knowledge, let me ask you something that ties directly into what we're discussing today. If a major disruption happened tomorrow and you couldn't get to the store, how long would you actually last with what's in your house right now? Think about it. We're talking about a government that has secretly tracked your every move through surveillance cameras, and you think they'd hesitate to restrict your access to food and supplies during a crisis? If your answer is anything less than a month, then you need to check out our friends at My Patriot Supply. They're America's #1 preparedness company with over 3 million satisfied customers who understand that self-reliance is the ultimate freedom. And right now, when you go to preparewithgary.com, their best-selling 4-week emergency food supply comes with an additional week of food absolutely free. Don't wait until it's too late to prepare. Now, I'm going to show you just how deep this surveillance rabbit hole goes. And this is what the mainstream media doesn't want to focus on. While they're busy telling you that these cameras are just catching criminals, cities like Lynwood, Washington, just voted unanimously to rip out their entire flock camera system. Why? Because they discovered that ICE was using the cameras for immigration enforcement due to some mysterious misconfiguration. Santa Cruz has completely paused all data sharing. Local police chiefs are admitting they had no idea outside agencies were accessing their database. This is a full-blown scandal, and I've got the receipts right here. Take a look at this. KSBW Action News 8. They posted this. Santa Cruz has paused its statewide flock camera data sharing after discovering out-of-state agencies, including ICE, accessed license plate data illegally without local police knowledge. Now listen carefully.
State agencies had illegal access to several California flock camera databases, including in Santa Cruz and Capitola. Local police had no idea.
Unbeknownst to us, agencies outside of the state of California were able to look at our data.
Flock cameras capture the license plates of cars driving by. A national search tool had been added that police here were not made aware of. The Capitola police chief says Capitola PD became aware of this issue only after receiving a Public Records Act request in October 2025. The department has since discovered some of those searches were done for ICE.
They have put in place several tools and measures to prevent this from happening in the future. As an example, they've completely deactivated the national search tool.
Concerns are now coming up that agencies within California have also been conducting database searches on behalf of these out-of-state agencies, prompting the city of Santa Cruz to pause all in-state flock camera data sharing as of Tuesday night. Capitola police have also paused data sharing since November 7th. And with the knowledge that some searches were done for ICE, Capitola police and Santa Cruz police reaffirmed that they do not conduct any immigration immigration enforcement operations nor assist federal agencies in doing so.
Now, say what you will about ICE accessing these records. Regardless, it is a constitutional violation. Santa Cruz pausing the flock data sharing after out-of-state misuse, sparking concerns over unchecked surveillance, a playbook. Washington is following expanding these controversial cameras despite the privacy alarms. This is the actual flock account on X. Bragging, crimes don't stay within city limits, and neither do investigations. Across Washington state, law enforcement agencies are using flock cameras to follow the leads across jurisdictions, connecting the dots on serious cases in ways that simply weren't possible before. And of course, Flock is going to be promoting these services, but we know the truth behind them.
We've seen surveillance cameras help in either solving crimes, catching suspects.
The city has over 70 cameras, and the county is looking to add even more because it helps the police force in so many ways.
The flock camera tracked the suspected vehicle into West Richland, where one person was arrested.
Witness statements and flock camera footage helped police identify and track the suspects back to their home.
That fake cop told him that he stopped him for speeding, but Duval police say that wasn't one of them. Everett's flock cameras caught the suspect's license plate, and the real cops arrested him.
And flock license plate reader cameras, eventually finding him along the Centennial Trail Saturday morning. He is now facing multiple charges, including murder.
Ultimately, I think our city sees such a benefit from these, and we've taken the stance, and I appreciate that the council sees the benefits of keeping our community safe. That's one of our number one priorities for our council.
Together, right? Or is it making cops lazy? Washington State embracing flock cameras for crime-solving reach, while Lynwood takes a stand against their ICE entanglements, reflecting growing skepticism over these digital eyes. Lynwood ending their flock camera contract over the use by ICE to catch 2 illegals. I think they should just cancel them, not because ICE used it, because it's a direct violation of the Constitution.
I'm Steve Solis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Lynwood is getting rid of a controversial surveillance program. Flock cameras, a crime-fighting tool that ended up causing a lot of concerns around federal immigration enforcement.
Well, if it's doing good to fight crime, then yeah, but if they're using it to find immigrants, then no.
I feel like there is a kind of gap between the trust level of Flock and the city's council, as well as the general public.
All right, Jackie Kent joins us live tonight. Jackie, there was a vote tonight at City Council. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, Steve, these cameras won't be here much longer, I can tell you that. City Council voted unanimously to cancel the contract for the 25 of these flock cameras across the city over concerns that they're being used for immigration enforcement. City Council member Isabel Mata told me after the meeting they know of at least 2 instances where that happened because of some kind of misconfiguration where the system was open for a national search, and that happened at least twice in recent months. So we know this has been a controversial surveillance program. How it works is these cameras at busy intersections, this one right behind me, they take a picture of the back of cars to get people's license plates as a way to help police get leads on crimes, recover stolen vehicles, find missing people, for example. But as you can imagine, a lot of people have privacy issues with that. There's a group called Deflock Lynwood that spoke out at City Council tonight, urging the City Council to cancel this contract. Councilmember Mata also noted after City Council did vote to get rid of it, that the type of system, the automated license plate recognition technology, is still legal in Lynwood. So even though they're getting rid of flock systems, they might look at another system later down the line. Now, the city attorney says moving forward, she will be meeting. Oh, yeah, we're going to get rid of flock, but we'll find something else, right? Lynwood dumping flock over privacy fears and ICE links, yet Arizona, a bigger battle brews as defenders of freedom challenge government overreach through mass surveillance. Maricopa County Libertarian Party. SB 1111 is a terrible bill, needs to die, they write. The mass surveillance networks that have been put up need to be torn down. Flock cameras were put up without your knowledge or consent in most towns in Arizona, all in violation of the Arizona state constitution. Check this out. Even in GOP-controlled states, we need people like Jake Hoffman, Arizona, who are willing to stand up for the truth. Our founders did not flee tyranny only to build a surveillance state of their own. Listen.
Fourth Amendment is not a suggestion. It is a command to government. You do not search people without probable cause and without a warrant. Our founders did not flee tyranny only to build a surveillance state of their own. They understood that a government that watches everything controls everything. Benjamin Franklin famously warned, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. The question before us here today is not whether we want to be safe, not whether we want to enable this technology. It's who gets to decide what safety requires and at what cost to freedom.
Amen. As Arizona fights back against surveillance tyranny, the libertarian ethos echoes a broader rejection of privacy invasions. We hate invasions of privacy. Arizona Libertarian Party. We're already against the next flock system. Don't spy on me. In the climate of rising anti-surveillance sentiment, the mainstream narrative paints a different picture, normalizing an ever-watchful eye while more liberty-loving voices push back. Local news here. Casually reports on the friendly neighborhood flock surveillance state helping U.S. Marshals apprehend a gas station burglar. This is how the American people are desensitized to consent to AI surveillance and feds on the streets.
Walking behind the counter, pulling a handgun from his pocket and then pointing it at the clerk while demanding money. Officers used flock license plate cameras to track down his car. He was arrested by a U.S. Marshal task force yesterday.
From normalizing surveillance in our streets to exposing its dangers, a YouTuber uncovers the vulnerabilities of these AI-powered spies, bringing a chilling truth to light. This YouTuber named Ben Jordan discovered that the surveillance company named Flock, who currently has over 90,000 cameras deployed throughout the U.S., is severely compromised and found that many cameras are live streaming directly to the open internet. Now, I'm not going to play this whole video, but this really lays it out.
Weeks ago, using a commercial search engine, I very easily found the administration interfaces for dozens of flock safety cameras. I shared this information with 404 Media, and with John Gaines' help, that number quickly grew to nearly 70. None of the data or video footage was encrypted. There was no username or password required. These were all completely public-facing for the world to see, and some of them still are. You don't have to be an expert to find and gain access to this. You don't even have to type anything in to see every single person, vehicle, and activity that took place in these locations in the last 31 days. Whether you wanted to watch this footage live in real time or look at footage from a month ago, you could just point and click your way to it like you were watching Netflix. You could even open up the live streams in VLC or cast it to a television. Making any modification to the cameras is illegal, so I didn't do this, but I had the ability to delete any of the video footage or evidence by simply pressing a button. I could see the paths where all of the evidence files were located on the file system, and I could see their hashes and signatures. Some of the devices we saw were the familiar-looking Falcon cameras that you see all over the country, but the majority of these were Flock's new Condor cameras, which are designed to detect and track people. They're PTZ cameras, meaning pan, tilt, zoom, and they quite literally use AI to zoom in and follow you around whether you're a person of interest or not. In just the time that it took to count and verify these vulnerabilities, I saw a family in North Carolina load their infant and a bunch of merchandise in a Lowe's parking lot. And I suppose one could cross-reference their license plate with the Park Mobile data breach and find out exactly where the garage is that will store these new fancy tools. I watched a man leave his house in the morning in New York. I watched a woman jogging alone on a forest trail in Georgia. This trail had multiple cameras, and I could watch a man rollerblade and then take a break to watch rollerblading videos on his phone. How? Because the camera's AI automatically zoomed in on it. Just like it zoomed in on a couple arguing at a street market in Atlanta. So what? They're still anonymous, right? No, they're not. Within 2 minutes of open source intelligence using a commercial facial recognition engine, I found out that one of them just finished medical school and the other is dealing with chronic irritable bowel syndrome. The couple also just had a baby last year and they have a pretty concerning debt-to-income ratio. I also know that they drove over 45 minutes from their address in the suburbs to attend church in Atlanta that morning, and then they checked out this market and bought a sweater. I watched a law enforcement officer in ambulance escort a man having a mental health crisis in Iowa. I know this because the Cedar Rapids Police Department maintains a public database of every single emergency call in the city, as well as daily arrest reports with individuals' names, addresses, ages, and genders. Listen, I know that I'm being creepy right now. Just saying these words out loud nauseates me. but I'm trying to show you just a fraction of the information that anyone in the world with access to a commercial search engine has had regarding anyone who attended this market or walked on this trail in the last 31 days. And it gets...
Do you understand what's happening here? With flock cameras' public availability caught in legal crosshairs, privacy alarms are ringing louder, asking just how far is too far in the name of public safety. A judge has ruled that because the flock security camera images are used by law enforcement, they are public records that can be requested by anyone. Some cities argue that releasing flock security camera images would violate people's privacy. Well, what about the people who are being recorded themselves?
The images captured by 80,000 cameras surveilling Americans 24/7 be available to the public? That is a flock safety camera. I covered this Orwellian program for Reason last year, and a lot of Flock's automatic license plate readers use artificial intelligence to gather data on every passing vehicle, from damage in decals to license plates and bumper stickers. Cameras snap 6 to 12 photos per car, and they even capture who's driving. Then all those photos get uploaded into a giant shared database which can be accessed by law enforcement and government agencies. Because Flock says when everyone contributes, cases get solved. Photos are stored for 30 days and then get deleted. And the cameras aren't cheap. In Washington State, Spokane Valley spent $500,000 on 26 cameras. Stanwood paid $92,000 for 14 cameras covering 3 square miles. And Yakima, which has a large migrant population, used $600,000 in funds from the American Rescue Plan Act to purchase theirs. Flock previously said the cameras are prohibited for immigration enforcement where it's against state or local law. But
that was a lie.
Today they have cameras in 6,000 communities across 49 states, and Flock cameras read 20 billion plates per month. So it's no surprise people like Jose Rodriguez started to take notice. He saw them pop up in Walla Walla, where he worked, did some research, and couldn't believe all the data gathered. He described it as being watched by a bunch of prison guards. So because not all heroes wear capes, he filed public records requests wanting Flock photos and data from 50 public agencies across the state. Public records are any media or communication from a government agency that involves government business. But there are some exceptions for intelligence information. Now, most agencies complied with the request, but the 10 cities who didn't, Rodriguez sued, wanting $100 per day per record. Flock responded by calling the lawsuit a bogus way to make money and advocated for a legislative fix to Washington's Public Records Act. Gee, I wonder why. While all this was happening, cities like Redmond, Lynwood, and Mount Lake Terrace turned off their Flock cameras. Then Stanwood and Cedro-Woolley, 2 holdouts, filed a motion to exempt Flock footage from the Public Records Act.
Wow.
They tried several different arguments, and according to their attorney, releasing the images would violate people's privacy. And isn't it ironic? But a Skagit County Superior Court judge disagreed. Because the footage is used by law enforcement agencies, it can be requested by anyone. Now agencies must store all Flock data before it's deleted. And in response to the ruling, one county turned off all their Flock cameras, calling it a threat to public safety. So, what the Flock does this mean for the future of mass surveillance?
Yeah, what does it mean? Well, the people are fighting back, and rightfully so. Now, here's the truth that the establishment doesn't want you to understand. See, this isn't about catching criminals, it's about control. When a YouTuber can find 70 cameras streaming live to the open internet with no security whatsoever, and when judges are ruling that all this surveillance footage is public record that anyone can request, you're not living in a free society anymore. You're living in an open-air prison where your every movement is tracked, stored, and accessible to whoever wants it. The same people screaming about privacy when it comes to illegal immigrants are perfectly fine watching you 24/7. They built the surveillance state while you were sleeping, and now they're using it against American citizens. See, folks, this is why your voice matters more than ever. One of you tipped us off to the story, and now millions of Americans are going to learn about this surveillance nightmare. See, that's the power of this community. So share this video with everybody you know and drop a comment below and tell me, should these Flock cameras be completely banned? Yes or no? I want to hear from you. And since you watched this video to the end, here's something that's not surveillance related, but it is direct communication related, because when YouTube notifications fail you, I will not. Text raw feed to 844-840-4963. That's how you and I maintain our direct connection when the algorithm decides it's going to show you mainstream garbage and not send you notifications. I will send you direct messages for the truth and the news that you need to hear to make informed decisions. And if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. It might still work because the establishment media is not going to cover this honestly. And if you want to show the world where you stand on freedom, and American values? Check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. Every purchase supports independent journalism that actually tells you the truth. We're not funded by big tech or government grants. We're funded by patriots like you. Stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.